You've been conditioned to believe that the modern office is a community, a shared space where radical candor and bringing your whole self to work are the keys to building meaningful professional relationships. You think that by opening up about your personal struggles, your financial goals, or your weekend escapades, you are humanizing yourself and building a bridge of trust with your peers. We are taught that vulnerability is a superpower and that secrets are the toxic waste of a healthy culture. But as you sit in the break room, laughing with a colleague who feels like a friend, you need to realize that every personal detail you volunteer is a weapon being placed in a global inventory that you do not control. The truth is, the corporate world is not a social circle. It is a theater of utility, and your authenticity is often just a data set used to calculate your risk, your leverage, and your shelf life. You aren't being closed off by keeping your mouth shut. You are practicing a high-level form of psychological defense that the oversharers will only learn the hard way. The tension you feel when a coworker asks a probing question about your personal life isn't just social awkwardness. It's your survival instinct warning you that you're about to hand over the keys to your professional kingdom. You think it works like this. You share, they empathize, and the bond strengthens. But it doesn't. Here's what actually happens. Your personal information is processed through the cold, amoral filter of office politics, and the moment you become a known quantity, you lose the mystery and the power that allow you to navigate the hierarchy on your own terms. Think about the daily reality of the office. You're having a casual lunch, and the conversation turns to future plans. Someone asks if you've ever thought about starting your own business, or if you're planning on buying a house soon. It feels harmless, almost friendly. You mention that you've been working on a side project or that you're saving up for a down payment. You feel understood, even supported. But then, a few weeks later, a high-intensity project comes up, the kind that leads to a promotion, and you're passed over. You hear through the grapevine that the leadership is worried you aren't fully committed, or that you might have distractions outside of work. You feel the frustration of being judged for things that have nothing to do with your performance. You see the quiet strivers, the ones who never share anything, getting the opportunities while you're being managed, based on a narrative you accidentally created for yourself. This is where most people get stuck. They think their coworkers are listening with their hearts, but they are actually listening with their agendas. You're being categorized, filed away, and limited by the very truths you thought would set you free. The hidden truth behind these 10 categories of forbidden information, ranging from your financial status to your past traumas, is that information creates predictability. And, in a power structure, predictability is a weakness. You think it's nice to share that you're struggling with a personal issue, but what the institution hears is unreliable. You think it's bold to share your political or religious views, but what the office hears is potential conflict. This is the part nobody tells you. Once a piece of information is out, it can never be retrieved, and its meaning will be distorted by whoever holds it. People don't use your secrets to help you. They use them to explain you away. They use your debt to explain why you're stressed, your health to explain why you're slow, and your past successes to explain why you're arrogant. You've been operating under the false assumption that transparency leads to respect. In reality, transparency leads to a glass ceiling where everyone can see your limits, even the ones you haven't hit yet. Deep office politics is the management of asymmetric intelligence. The person who knows the most about everyone else, but reveals the least about themselves, is the person who holds the most power in the room. When you share your total compensation or your specific financial needs, you are giving the company a roadmap for how to underpay you. If they know you just bought an expensive house, they know you can't afford to quit, which means they can increase your workload without increasing your pay. Decisions about raises and bonuses aren't made based on what you deserve. They are made based on what is necessary to keep you in the chair. By sharing your financial reality, you are removing the mystery of your retention cost. Similarly, when you share your past career trauma or your previous failures, you are telling everyone exactly how to hurt you. You are showing them the scars from the last battle, and in the social dynamics of power, those scars are just targets for the next one. The reality shift happens when you realize that your current approach of total honesty is actually a slow-motion career suicide. You've been trying to win a popularity contest in an arena where the only prize is survival and advancement. You have to reframe your understanding of the office persona. This isn't about being fake. It's about being professional. Professionalism is a protective layer that ensures your work is the only thing people can use to judge you. Your approach is failing because you've allowed your personal life to become a distraction from your professional impact. You need to become a blank slate, upon which only excellence is written. When you stop sharing your side hustles, your health issues, your family drama, and your controversial opinions, you force people to deal with the person you are in the Askanation office, not the person you are at home. Subtle solutions for reclaiming your power start with the art of the deflective pivot. You don't have to be rude, you just have to be boringly consistent. When someone asks about your weekend, you don't give the play-by-play of your therapy session or your wild night out. You say, "It was great. Very productive. I'm really focused on that launch today." You are pivoting the visibility from your private life to your professional output. You are building a reputation for deep focus. Perception is everything. If you are seen as someone who is private and professional, you are seen as someone who can handle high-level secrets. You are seen as leadership material. This is how you manage your communication. You speak in impact metrics, not personal anecdotes. You are moving from a state of social compliance to strategic sovereignty. Your relationships in the office should be built on shared goals and mutual respect, not mutual disclosure. You can be the most well-liked person in the building without anyone knowing your political affiliation or your bank balance. In fact, the most respected people are often the most mysterious. This is the strategy of high-value enigma. By keeping your long-term career plans to yourself, you maintain the leverage of uncertainty. If the company thinks you might leave, they will work harder to keep you. If you tell everyone you want to be there for 20 years, you've just handed them a lifetime subscription to your labor at a discounted rate. You are protecting your perception by ensuring that you are always seen as an active player, not a settled asset. The part nobody tells you is that your personal history is the most dangerous thing you can share because it's the only thing you can't change. If you share stories about your wild college days or your previous work conflicts, you are defining yourself by a version of you that no longer exists. But in the minds of your coworkers, that version is very much alive. They will use your past to interpret your present actions. This is where the social dynamics of prejudice take root. By keeping your past in the past, you allow yourself to reinvent your professional brand every single day. You are the architect of your current identity, and you should never let a coworker hold the blueprints to who you used to be. Strategy during the office happy hour, or the casual chat, is about the protective filter. You never share anything that requires empathy from the organization, because organizations are incapable of feeling it. You don't share your health struggles unless it is a legal necessity for accommodation. Why? Because the moment you are seen as slightly less than 100%, the hierarchy starts looking for your replacement. You don't share your marriage problems or your parenting struggles because you don't want to be the distracted employee. You want to be the person who arrives, delivers, and disappears into a life that is so rich and private that nobody even has the nerve to ask about it. You are realistic about the fact that your coworkers are your professional peers, not your personal support system. Here's what actually happens when you master the 10 silences. You start to feel a sense of immunity. You are no longer vulnerable to the whisper campaigns or the strategic leaks. You are no longer the person people talk about. You are the person people talk to when they want things done. You've successfully moved your value from the social layer to the strategic layer. You think you're losing out on the fun of the office, but you're actually winning the only game that pays. By protecting your financial secrets, your career plans, your vulnerabilities, and your private beliefs, you are ensuring that your brand is untainted by the messy reality of the human condition. You are a professional operator, and that is a much more powerful thing to be than a workplace friend. The truth is, the safe harbor of the company is a commercial fiction. Your coworkers are individuals with their own mortgages, their own insecurities, and their own climb to worry about. If your secret can help them get a step higher, they will use it, and they will justify it to themselves as just business. This is why you must never offer your unfiltered truth to a system that only values filtered results. You are a sovereign agent of your own career. Your talent, your time, and your secrets are your resources, and you are the only one who can manage them. Once you accept that the relationship is transactional, the uncomfortable truth becomes a liberating truth. You stop looking for family in a building made of glass and steel, and you start looking for leverage. The ending of this narrative is about your own awareness. Look at the people around you, the ones who talk too much, the ones who are always in the middle of some personal crisis, and the ones who are everyone's best friend. Where are they in the hierarchy? Usually they are stuck in the support layer. Now, look at the people at the top. They are polite, they are composed, and they are almost entirely opaque. They have mastered the unspoken rule of information management. They know that what you don't say is just as important as what you do say. You are the only person truly invested in your human resources. Don't ever confuse the corporate script with the transactional reality. Reflect on this. Every piece of personal information you share is a micro-divestment of your own power. You are literally paying for a conversation with your future. Stop being the open book that everyone has already read, and start being the masterpiece that everyone is trying to figure out. The 10 things you keep to yourself are the 10 pillars of your professional strength. Awareness of these silent tricks is the only thing that separates the successes from the scenery. You've been managed long enough by your own desire to be authentic. It's time you started leading with your impact. The meeting starts now. What are you going to keep to yourself? How are you going to use your silence to build your sovereignty? Your career is a narrative, and it's time you became the lead author. Turn off the vulnerability mode and turn on the strategic mode. The corporate world doesn't reward the nice person who tells all. It rewards the sharp person who knows exactly what to hold back. You are a liquid asset, a high-value agent, and a sovereign professional. Now, act like it. The exit is coming, the promotion is coming, or the transition is coming. Make sure when it happens, you are the one holding all the cards. Reflect on the quiet power of a person who is perfectly pleasant but completely untouchable. That is the real goal. That is the real professional maturity. The end of the oversharing era is the beginning of your real ascent. Stay focused, stay professional, and keep your business your business. The world is watching your results. Don't let them see your secrets.